Hi guys, so the Midwest and Northeast have two severe storms, two winter storms coming their way. One is currently on track going through the Midwest, going up towards the Northeast, bringing light snow, rain, and ice. The second one is due to come towards the weekend, so more closer to the blood moon eclipse time period. And saying that, obviously, looking at the ipg2 video, it does appear that we have, a wintry condition to do with winter, could be to do with the volcanic eruptions, could be to do with nuclear material, or it could be, involving all three. In the background, we've got Big Ben stuck at 12 o'clock. We've got Brexit, getting into its final stages. Key vote today as well going on. So after today, if the vote isn't successful, then you could see the pound start to fall, which again I think is, interpreted in this video. We have Obama's foot covering the pound, suggesting, some of it's gone. Interpretation, it's lost some of its value. On the board here, you've got the shark where the nose and the head make up the pound coin symbol, and the eye going across is the line through the pound coin symbol, and it's tilted to its side, so it's suggesting it's falling, which again has that kind of impression of the pound losing its value or some of its value, a large chunk of it, probably to do with Brexit. Again, with the whole Brexit theme, you've got the classroom lighting itself. So you start off with blue, beginning with B, you move on to a red theme, beginning with R. In the background, you've got the exit lighting up, so BR and exit gives you Brexit. So again, it could be just talking about this time period, which we are currently in, moving on to the 21st and 22nd, 23rd, onto the 5th of November, sorry, 5th of February, where it looks like China come forward on the Korean Peninsula while they're discussing peace and safety and no nuclear weapons and stuff like that. But let me quickly have a read of this report. The storm coming this weekend has the potential to put down close to a foot of snow over a long swath in the Mid-East and Northeast. Sorry, Midwest and Northeast. Blizzard conditions are likely to unfold in parts of Central Plains and perhaps the Midwest with the storm this weekend. Cold air in the wake of the storm on Thursday and Friday, combined with extensive snow cover, may cause the storm that follows to track further south than our indicators suggest, according to AccuWeather. So it could, end up going towards the Gulf states as well, spreading out a bit further. Storms like to travel along zones with big temperature changes over short distances, and that zone may be farther south than if there was not so much snow on the ground over the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic. It's possible the storm this coming weekend may not cut toward the Great Lakes as suggested by computer models, but may instead take more of a west to east track similar to last weekend's storm, but a bit farther north. So as you're seeing here, where it's kind of tracking up towards New York, going up towards the Maine, uh, going into Maine, Canada, all that kind of area. While the track is not set in stone, the storm this weekend has the potential to produce heavy snow in the swath from I-70 to I-80 and I-90. This means that several inches or more of snow, enough to shovel and plow, may fall on New York, which is a key area we're looking at in terms of the ipg2 video and the wintry scene we see there. Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, Boston, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, St. Louis, and Kansas City, Missouri. A storm targeting all or most of these hubs and highways with moderate to heavy snow would cause major disruptions to travel and daily activities this weekend. While a swath of wintry mix where both snow and rain can fall is likely with this storm, the amount and location of ice will depend on the track of the storm and how thick or shallow the layer of cold air in place becomes. Exactly where the northern edge of the rain area ends up with the weekend storm may play a pivotal role in the potential for urban flooding problems, since there is a substantial amount of snow on the ground in St. Louis, Cincinnati, and Washington, D.C. Should the storm this weekend bring mostly rain to areas that still have a lot of snow on the ground in the I-64 corridor, there may be significant flooding. Both storms are expected to bring all or mostly rain from southeastern Kansas to northern Tennessee, North Carolina, and southeastern Virginia. A few thunderstorms may rumble through the deep south, but a severe winter weather outbreak is not expected at this time for the upcoming weekend. After that follows a brutal cold sweep from the Arctic, bringing even colder conditions. So in the wake of the weekend storm, much colder Arctic air is projected to plunge southward across the eastern half of the nation and reach the Gulf states with freezing temperatures. So you can see the map just there. After the winter storm has passed through the Midwest and through the Midwest and gone up through the Northeast, You then get this large swath of Arctic air pushing down from the north, down through Canada, straight through the Midwest, through the south, potentially reaching the Gulf states like Florida. And obviously that is a lot of cold covering a lot of area, which again kind of may be indicated in this video with the cold that we're seeing here. The other scenarios potentially joining up with it, the eclipse of the blood moon, volcanoes, tsunamis, the submarines coming out. The number 23, I'm also looking at as a time reference in terms of 11 p.m. The reason for this is because the blood moon eclipse, as I said, begins at 10:36 on the 20th of January on the east coast of the United States. That's the east coast timing. So basically about half an hour, maybe an hour after that, because I'm thinking with the backwards forwards reference, it could be, if it's a time reference, they could choose to do 23:32. So that would be, 2 minutes after 11:30 on the 20th of January, something happens. And then obviously moving into the 20th, and this is all during the blood moon, you have the volcanic eruption. It may be that the volcanic eruption is what occurs at 23:32. I'm very curious of the time 11:30 because I did a video once talking about the time 11:30 and a possible earthquake occurring around that time, and I got a lot of hate comments. So whenever I get a lot of those, I generally pay a lot more attention to what I've said in the video, because obviously something I've said is upsetting people, and I find it curious. So I still keep the time 11:30 in my mind, but just a forwards backwards thing, 11:32 would be more appropriate, 23:32 military time. So keeping our eyes out for that. That's pretty much what I wanted to bring to you in this video. Just that we appear to have a scenario climate-wise that matches the ipg2 video. We have Brexit going on. That's in the ipg2 video. We've got the eclipse coming up that appears to be in this video as well. It remains to be seen whether volcanoes like Kilauea, Mount Etna erupt during the eclipse, and whether tsunamis are caused after that. I hope they're not, because obviously they're catastrophic events, devastating coastlines all around. At the same time, if those events occur, then you really have to be watchful for the submarine, the tsunami caused by the submarines. So by I believe it would be Poseidon, so a nuclear activated submarine tsunami affecting New York and obviously over here in the UK. I'll be keeping an eye out for that. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.